Hello, everybody. So I made a recent blog post on my website, which link will be in the description. Um, so I'm also going to start speaking them as well because some people just don't like to read and they just rather listen. And they're always short, about 30 minutes long. So, hello, fellow empaths, welcome. So this one's going to be about the broken unconscious. So you have a broken unconscious. You're like, what is that? Exactly. It's something you do not consciously pay attention to or are aware of unless you take the time to be. So, how do you heal something when you have no choice but to keep using it every single day? And I'm talking about your mind. So, it never takes a break, right? You can't power it down. You can't do a restart, an update, get some new parts. Well, I guess I don't know about the new parts, but that would be interesting. But you cannot just shut down your brain and throw it in the shop for a while. It keeps working. So the brains that encompass every single individual and how they function, it's a direct choice of that person and their perspective. So all the judgments, domestications, as happiness, joys, just evolution, all of those things that happen in life. So you have to learn to adapt to all of these things, and your brain needs to learn to adapt to it too. The difference is your brain is doing it without your knowledge. Um, and you need to be very knowledgeable about what's going on in order to heal properly. So, like, let's get an example. My mom, she's a baby boomer. She was born in that age, right? That mindset is like, this is the way you do things. This is the way you believe. These are the things that you want for your life. Go and get them. And those things were very limited, right? So her reaction to these things is it happened. Let's shove it aside, shove it under the rug. You don't talk about it, you don't complain about it, and you move on. That's the way her generation was taught. And that's the way I actually lived a lot of my life. Just thinking, I'm not gonna live there. Like it happened. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna fester about it, whatever. But if you don't actually confront the things that have happened to you and deal with them and reconcile them in your mind and dive into that, your subconscious where everything gets hidden away, you'll start to see it physically, emotionally, anxiety, panic attacks. Maybe you lose weight, maybe you gain weight, maybe you just start to feel unhealthy altogether because that's negative energy and it can suck you dry and kill you. So you need to reprogram yourself and how you deal with these things. And, let's not do it the old way of brushing it under the rug. And, that's the tough way to do it, and just moving on because that's impossible. Um, and it's a mask. All it is a mask. It's the dysfunction in your own brain. You pretending to walk around as if, la di da, I'm all good. So you're deceiving yourself and you're deceiving everybody else. Um, and there's, another way our minds kind of work as humans. Think of temptations. Humans have this weird thing. I, I'm making this face because I don't understand it because I don't do that and I've never done it. But they always seem to relate some outside force to temptation. And it's like, okay, there is a delicious brownie sitting on your counter. just minding its own dang business. You're not hungry. You ate. You're cool. But you just have to have that brownie. It's not the brownie that tempted you. It is your mind that tempted you into thinking you just have to have that brownie. So there are no outside forces that tempt you. You tempt you. You cannot blame it on God or Satan or life, people, or any other energy form. There's nobody coming in, you know, poking you and saying you must do this. The the temptation is yours. It's the thing, the story that you have created in your own mind that you need. So you have to learn how to rewrite that story. That's something for psychologists and it's things that I do work on in session with people, but not as deep as like a psychologist would do, depending on how much you've gone through. But your brain tends to get you through life telling you stories. So you don't want to get caught up in those stories. You need to accept responsibility for yourself, for your actions. When you start to see the true you, that's when you can get through life without spreading a path of destruction behind you for everybody else. Because we don't want to do that. We want to fix ourselves first. So our minds speak to us in fantasy as humans. We don't want to believe the worst in others. Um, we often try to read the book by the cover, right? That person seems nice. They have an awesome marriage. You gaze things from the outside, but you really have no idea what that person is going through. Or you judge people based on their looks, on whether you're going to decide however you're going to treat that person. Why would you ever do that? You don't know that person. You don't know them at all just because of how somebody looks. So you have to rewrite these narratives in your head. So some of these fantasy stories that people make up in their head about people, they're benign, right? Some of them can harm people and some of them can even kill. Like, yes, emotional trauma can kill people. It doesn't work as fast as, maybe somebody like stabbing you or some horrible thing, but it does kill you. So we need to stop doing that to each other. So the first thing you need to focus on is your own personal judgments. What is true? What is reality? And what have you created? So here's another example. When you go to a horror movie, you can either be absolutely terrified, which that's kind of the point of the horror movie, right? Or you can take your fear away and you can look at the horror movie and watch the horror movie and appreciate the art of it, the message of it. Even though it's a horror movie, those things are still there. So your psychological fear is based in the stories that your mind has told you about people, about situations, places, all of that stuff. So the steps that you can take to becoming aware. So mastering your awareness. Here's another example. Have Everybody's done it. You're just driving your familiar drive, whatever that is, driving home from work. You got home, but you don't really recall the drive. But your brain is still functioning. You were cognitive. You could drive the car. You could operate the vehicle. You could look at the things going on around you and react to them, but you literally don't remember that drive home. It's because you're in here. Okay. So when you don't clear past traumas, you're being here. So that's just another example of how people do not pay attention to what's going on in their subconscious. Um, so things that people can do to pay attention to on a daily basis to just bring you back into the reality of not daydreaming and storytelling and assuming and making up realities. So go with your five senses. Number one, what are they telling you? Are you even listening to them on a daily basis? Sorry, alarm for a class I have to teach. Your thoughts and emotions, you have to pay attention to them. You begin to notice the flow of information through your mind's own personal story. Whatever's going on, you filter it through your own personal story. All this raw information you get bombarded with every single day on a daily basis throws through your mind and it gets processed in some way. How you have reacted to things in the past is the same way this new information will be processed and stored and affect you physically as well. So try to make a point of catching up with yourself every day, just in those down times when you're brushing your teeth. Like, are you taking time to like pay attention that you're brushing your teeth? Probably not. You're probably all right in here and not even thinking about brushing your teeth. So these are the exercises. This is how to get you more aware of yourself and how you react to things is when you are in those times when your mind is just going about its business and moving you forward and you are not paying attention. Stop and think while you're brushing your teeth. What can I do to make someone's life better today? What am I going to do to make my life better today? Did I wake up in a good mood? Oh my gosh, there's my dogs. I love them so much. Or I way overdid that yesterday. I need to reevaluate this. Something. Those little down times in life are a perfect time for self evaluation. So do it. Don't just get lost in the monotony of it. Take the time. And a really good exercise when you catch yourself just being like zoned out and your body's just going through the motions, literally, if you can say it out loud, say it out loud. Sometimes you just can't because you're not in a place where you can. But literally say out loud thinking because you are thinking too much.